Namaste and welcome to Ye Hai India. Before we start, I would just want to do a quick reintroduction of Dr. Radha Kumar. She is a mentor to us and she's an expert in the field of Indian culture. She's an associate professor with St. Xavier's College in Mumbai, working with the Department of Ancient Indian History, Culture and Archaeology. She has been granted doctorate for her thesis in Impact of Buddha on Ancient Polity, and she also has a Sangeet Alankar in Sitar and Bharatnatyam respectively. So this is just for our audience to know you better, ma'am. Today, what we are going to talk about is history and Indian culture as a career option for the youth of India. What does it hold? What are the education options, career options that are available? And what is the content that actually is taught when somebody opts for this course? So, and hoping that this is going to help our students decide whether this is the field that they want to get into, and once when they get into the field, how is it that they can really pursue it? So, ma'am, over to you. Firstly, I would, you are yourself, into this field of academics. How do you think, and what are the career options that you think are available? Please take us through.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Anshul. It would have been so nice to meet you face to face. But I think all of us are getting used to these online portals. And believe me, for a lot of us who are in the teaching profession, this platform is a new platform. But, as teachers, we always like to learn. And as you said, the imparting of knowledge and sharing both which ways has to continue. So nice meeting you like this, and good to be back on your platform. Now, you've asked me a lot of questions. You asked me about, I think the first question was career options. Now, see, the career options is, one thing is like this, Anshul. When a student opts for certain courses, somehow with those courses, the choice of careers is very, very tangible. It's just out there. It's very clear. There is no ambiguity at all. But with certain courses, since it is not very clear, it's not very explicit, it's not out there, that leaves an impression in the minds of the students and the parents that, oh my God, if I opt for these courses and if I opt for these subjects, I'm not going to get a career option. In the sense, when you say a career, I think what you're trying to say is a job, right? That's exactly what you're looking at. A job that will get in a steady salary, a job that will, fund the household expenditure. Basically, a job which will help you to define your life and your living. So agreed. So there is no conflict there at all. With certain courses, especially the pure arts courses, especially with courses like ours, when a student wants to major in a subject like ancient Indian history, culture, archaeology, the association of the coursework with a job is not very explicit. That creates ambiguity. But having said that, today, thanks to technology, thanks to media, thanks to the various interfaces that are happening, with the help of courses like this, there is a lot of discussion that happens where what are the various career choices that a student can take. One thing is, if a student wants to pursue in the space of academics itself, teaching is an option. Research is a very good option. That's in the space of academics. And with a course like this, there are other branches that the students can take. It could be epigraphy, numismatics, it could be in the space of museology, conservation. These are courses that are offered in the subject matter, in the entire subject or the papers that are taught, and a student can branch out into that. Apart from that, the student can get into media, and you yourself, since you're in the print, in the visual media, for example, this channel that you've started. So a lot of students can associate themselves with channels like yours for research, for content, especially when you're looking at history, culture, art, architecture, etc., courses like this would help. Tourism is another classic area. They could develop small. In fact, a lot of our ex-students are into the tourist package, and they basically run these small little, travel companies which sensitize people. In fact, even corporates, they want to take a small trip to Elephanta. So you need to have a person who understands this culture. So that kind of adds value to the entire trip that you might be taking. Then any other job, any other career, because today a lot of careers, a lot of jobs are also based on entrance exams. So you clear those entrance exams and you go on. And then the other courses, like an MBA, etc., is also open. But having said that, if you want to change your line, there is a little bit of effort that students from our courses have to put in, which you can see that a lot of them are doing. And then in teaching, they have to clear the competitive exams like NET and SET. And I'm so happy to say that a lot of our students are NET or SET cleared, and they're all ready to take a teaching job in courses like ours. So if I won't be wrong if I say sky is the limit, but the trek also has to be. Just to give you a small example, in the Bachelor of Management Studies paper, BMS course, they have a paper at their second year which is called Indian Thought, Philosophy and Practices, IMTP, Indian Management Thought and Philosophy and Practices, or something to that extent. And the reason why they have that paper is because these are all students who are all getting into the world with a BMS degree, with a management degree. So it was very important for them to also understand the ethos of this land. For example, if the student is, working, say, in a project in different parts of the country, it's very important for the student to understand the culture, the background, the art and architecture around the area, and this might also help in the CSR practices, in the corporate social responsibility, where that company could, help in upkeeping some local handicrafts or some local artisans or some local paintings, etc. thing to happen.
Absolutely.
So nice that there is a paper like this that has been introduced.
A little bit that I would want to hear from you.
Yes.
That what are the courses that they can do, both at the graduate and the postgraduate level or diplomas. So just help us with it. What do you think is available?
Yeah. So nowadays, it's so nice that you said that you will also give the list. But today, if you really want to, take these courses and subjects onwards, I think the websites in most universities today in our country, colleges and websites, are so beautifully made that today if a student is going to be typing just on the search portal that you want to major in this, there is a whole range of colleges and universities that actually offer courses like this. And then it depends on the student how he or she wants to take this ahead. Now, at the same time, a student can also branch out into languages, linguistic departments, like, doing a major in Sanskrit or in Pali, or for that matter, even take up courses in philosophy, because philosophy and religion is a very strong kind of a subject or paper that we teach as a part of our postgraduate and undergraduate level. At the same time, there are also papers which are very rooted in archaeology, as well as in conservation, epigraphy, which is again a very separate line. So depending on what the student really wants to do, you can always get it. But let me tell you something very clearly, Anshul, that see, when a person is embarking on this particular line, at some point in time, it's not going to be a space where you have hundreds and thousands of people working in spaces like this. It's a very niche, and I think you use the word specialization. So when the moment you use the word specialization, you're not going to have, many people being a part of that particular discourse. So it tends to get lonely, at times, when you're working in this particular space, it tends to get lonely. And another problem also that might really happen is you might not really find too many vacancies. So that is when, if a student is very passionate about he or she, or if they're really driven by the subject, what they really want to do, they can diversify. Where today, Even in the space of teaching, there are various courses that are available where along with teaching, you can also start a small outfit of your own. And we do have some of our students who blend in this very, very beautifully. So somewhere, an epigraphy. Now, if you really want to be a field archaeologist, first of all, you need to really find out how many such departments are existing in our country. Now, if there are these departments, yes, you can definitely go and become a part of that. But end of the day, you also need to know what is the salary, what is the pay package, because we have to be very realistic. So if some way, if the blend can be done, I think that would be a win-win situation. So you take the subjects up academically, but at the same time, you also work with it in such a way that it is also very sustainable, for you, for the individual in the long run.
Okay, great, ma'am. And just throw a little bit of light on the courses, the bachelor courses, and what you might be having in your college.
Yes.
And so that the students kind of have an idea that if they've just passed out from the 12th standard, or they've done a graduation in a related field, how can they really pursue it?
Very true. Yeah. So in the bachelor's courses, we offer the political history, social history, economic history. And then this is a basic overview of the first year and the second year level. Then we also have papers like tourism. We have papers that is towards mythology. Then at the TY level, we go into the complete, the complete depth of the subject, like studying economic history, literature of ancient India, science and technology of ancient India. Then we have papers in world civilization, a paper in conservation, museology. So it's very clear. So if any student wants to really work and find out what the papers are, all that you need to go to the college website, and all the papers according to our semesters are given there. Mm-hmm. At the same time, we also have a full-fledged MA course, a PG course, and there's an entrance exam for that. And we're so happy to see that students from all over the country come to write these papers, and they are a part of our course. And we have experts, who come as visiting faculty who come to deliver these lectures. So, and then plus we also have a diploma course, and we've also introduced as applied as a subsidiary papers in performing arts, papers in mythology, etc., where the student, if the student wants, you can take those papers. So it also attracts a lot of students who are, say, into performing arts, where they can take the paper and they're already an artist, or sometimes, they're not. I mean, you don't have to be a performing artist to take this particular paper. But if you take this paper, you're able to understand the sculpture, you're able to understand the mudras, you're able to understand the stance. Same with papers like mythology. So we are giving a whole package, a bouquet of papers, so that the student can opt what he or she wants to develop the interest in the subject matter.
Okay, great to know, ma'am.
Very true. But the point, Anshul, is one should have the intent. Yes. The content will come by itself.
Wow, that's a beautiful closure line.
You should be a jignasu, you should be a seeker. And also to find a template, what is it, how is it that I want to take my life ahead?
Yes.
What is it that I'm seeking out of life? What is it that I'm seeking out of my surrounding? I think that has to be very clear. And it can't just be herd mentality. That when somebody is saying something, so everyone's following that. And that essentially, this situation that all of us are in is making us think on that. That's why this concept of Atmanirbharta, going back to the roots, back to the basics, if I may say so, becomes so relevant.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We hope that the session was absolutely enlightening for our students.
Sure.
And all the people who are going to see it are going to really know that, how they can really take history and Indian culture forward by either studying it or, even if they have a passion for it, take it forward.
Yeah.
Just take it forward. You don't really need to be a student. We all are students in our lives. And if you have a passion for it, just take it forward. We would be providing you with some content, of the list of colleges, etc., or maybe some links to some useful websites, where you can know more about it. once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us, and we're going to continue like this, on on these sessions, on the online sessions, and maybe take the knowledge to more and more
Absolutely.
people.
It's always nice talking to you, Anshul.
Same.
And once again, I want to congratulate you and applaud you for initiating this Vakavakya, this dialogue, because this is really the need of the hour. And I'm pretty sure, because whether you're looking at articles in the newspapers or discourses that are happening, everyone's talking about a shift. And I hope the shift will help us to find ourselves. I think that's very important.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for those kind words.
Lovely.
Thank you. Namaste.